2:15. The St. Mary Association of Branch Societies of the JAX presents its 36th staging of the St. Mary Agri Expo on Monday, April 1, for Grace Inn Sports Complex, St. Mary, under the theme Nourishing Your Future, Safeguarding Farms, Ensuring Food Security. Features include Youth and Agriculture Village, Farmers Market, Farm Queen Competition, and much more. Stay for the entertainment, gospel concert, and stage show. Gates open at 8 a.m. Admission adults 2,000, children $500.
How long is this break?
From 6 to 8 p.m. for Power Play. Our 106 FM's flagship program dedicated to the
Oh, this is the last. Okay. I need to make a quick run.
Focusing on everything sports in Jamaica and around the world. Make sure to tune in to Power Play, providing invigorating sports analysis and discussion. Weekdays from 6 to 8 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
The lips of the righteous teaches many, but fools die for want of wisdom. The rich man's wealth is in the sea.
Thanks a lot for making it both sides of the story. Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. Good afternoon. And thank you so much for joining us on your program on this Thursday afternoon. Keeping it nice and easy. Velta Wilson, good afternoon. Thank you very much for tuning in. Good to have you on board. Thanks a lot. Penelope Prendergast says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Penelope Prendergast. Thank you for joining us. Apologies for the late start as we had to play our part with respect to an initiative seeking to encourage more of our children, our students, to enjoy mathematics, to learn it and learn it well, and all that comes with that. So ever so often, we have to play our part in different areas and with different individuals, associations, organizations, groups for a better Jamaica. Good afternoon to Portia Francis, and I like the spelling of her first name, Porcia, Portia. And so good afternoon to Portia Francis. Greetings to you. Thanks for tuning in on this Thursday afternoon, Thursday, the 14th of March, 2024. And we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to both sides of the story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
The lips of the righteous teach us many, but fools die for want of wisdom. The rich man's wealth is in your vexation of the soul is vanity. Destruction of holy is poverty. The poor man's wealth is in a holy place.
The poem that comes to us at a time like this is one called The Winds of Fate, Fate. One ship drives east and another drives west with the selfsame winds that blow. 'Tis the set of the sails and not the gales which tells us the way to go. Like the winds of the seas are the ways of fate, Fate, as we voyage along through life. 'Tis the set of a soul that decides its goal and not the calm or the strife. Good afternoon to those of you tuned in on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point, this is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via Facebook Live. Well, there's also YouTube. And those of you who are already on board, we thank you. And also hello to Norman Hines in St. Thomas, where we're actually coming from. He says, blessed afternoon, Sir Dervan, Malcolm, and listeners. To you too, Norman Hines. Hubert Fowlin says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan, Malcolm, Power 106 FM, both sides of the story, and your listening audience. We receive your messages with warmth. Sophia Nemard in Newell, St. Elizabeth, good afternoon to you. Thanks for tuning in. Mikey Jarrett says, I'm watching from Brooklyn, New York. Blessings and blessed love, my dear brother, says Mikey Jarrett. Thank you very much for your listenership and support as usual as we continue with more here on both sides of the story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. And so let's see what's trending right now, news-wise, as the Gleaner has it. So the stories, let's take them one at a time. This one here says, cartel, Sean Storm, and fellow murder accused expected to seek bail pending appeal court retrial decision. And there's a picture of attorneys for Vibes Cartel and his fellow murder accused expected to seek bail while the Court of Appeal decided if they should face a retrial. This morning, the United Kingdom-based Privy Council upheld their appeal against their convictions and ordered that the Court of Appeal should consider the matter. Cartel entertainer Sean Storm Campbell, Kahira Jones, and Andre St. John were convicted in 2014 for killing Clive Lizard Williams in 2011. They have denied any involvement in the killing. Campbell was the chief appellant. His attorney, Bert Samuel, said he would be seeking to get instructions from his client on the next step. While noting that his role was to handle the Privy Council appeal and that his work is done, Samuel said the likely move is that bail would now be sought for Campbell. He now has the right to apply for bail because he is now awaiting the decision of the court whether he should move to trial or not. So no doubt when they lawyer up, we will be going knocking on the door because the first move is to try and obtain bail pending the hearing whether there should be a retrial or not, Samuel said at a press conference after the verdict was handed down. The Judicial Committee of the Privy Council has unanimously concluded that the appeals should be allowed and the appellant's convictions should be quashed on the grounds of juror misconduct, and that the case should be remitted to the Court of Appeal to decide whether to order a retrial of the appellants, said Lord David Lloyd Jones, one of 5 law lords who heard the appeal. Samuel said the accused men are no longer convicts, as their convictions have been set aside by the Privy Council. Samuels, Isaac Buchanan, and Bianca Samuels form part of the local team of defense appeal attorneys for Campbell. So just in case you missed the various newscasts earlier on, just using the opportunity to catch you up in a manner of speaking, so you too can join in the discussions and the debates and the arguments and come away with a greater level of awareness. So there are some other stories arising from this major story. Allowing tainted juror to continue was fatal to safety of the cartel conviction, said the Privy Council. Waterford residents celebrate Vibes Cartel's overturned murder conviction. And there are some other stories as well. The JLP's Donnet Foster sworn in as Cornwall Mountain Division Councillor. Jamaica to host Caribbean Travel Marketplace. And cartel conviction quashed, case sent back to appeal court. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 2:30. Tune into Power 106 FM for Power and Glory every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Power and Glory with the extraordinary Alpha Mackenzie. Join us for the inspired word and reflections, as well as soul-stirring gospel music, every Sunday with Alvin McKenzie from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Power and Glory on Power 106 FM, the Power 106 FM app, One Spot Media, at go-jamaica.com.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, and taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. And it means you can send your text messages and your WhatsApp messages along with your voice notes, etc. And we'll be more than happy to audition the recording, if it's a recording, or otherwise pay attention to the message. Welcome, Orinthia Campbell. Good to see you online. Thank you for joining us. Good to have you on board. Also joining us at this time, Cherry Henry. She says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Faye Weller says, blessed afternoon, Mr. Dervan and faithful listeners. I'm here listening. And Cherry Henry says, I love your looks. Uh-oh. Okay, Cherry Henry, you're very kind. Inez Ayona Campbell says, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Valerie Weller Carpeck is also greeting everyone. Good afternoon. What's on your mind this afternoon? Your collective mind. Please feel free to share your thoughts, your ideas, your suggestions, your recommendations, your issues, your concerns, and whatever else that comes to mind. And in the meantime, we look forward to receiving your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. And we continue to encourage those who find that they are now being heard and are being listened to when it comes to matters of their well-being and their environment. Remember, the power is in your hands, whether you want to believe it or not. That's the nature of a democracy. It's government of the people, by the people, for the people. And we should never look at it as being another case of whatever, that there is an opportunity to make a difference. The power of one. And so we encourage you to keep those messages coming in and share those thoughts and ideas and suggestions and concerns and issues. And we'll see if we can help you to get them some legs, so to speak, to spread the word and to, apart from creating a greater level of awareness, there's also helping to create a better level of understanding. So we count on you in that regard. And thank you for your continued listenership, viewership, and support. So what have you got for us? 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Charles Clinton says, Dervan, who said cartel conviction was overturned? Not true. A new trial was offered. Well, the information was taken from the Gleaner. That is one of the main sources of news and related matters, current affairs, etc. Thank you for your message nonetheless, Charles Clinton. Thank you. And if you want to explain further or to add to what you have said, please feel free. Feel free to message or to call. So at least we give you a voice beyond the message that you just posted. So we look forward to that discussion picking up momentum going forward. Can't happen without the people. And then when you have a plethora of platforms from which to project and transmit, then it comes down to who is receiving the information, who is processing the information, who produced the information in the first place. And it goes on. There are all kinds of new expressions in this new age, so to speak. People talking about, what's the expression they used the other day? Fake. It's almost like trying to say something is legit, but it is fake. I should have written off the information, but something about that essentially recognizes that the information is flawed, but for whatever reason, they accept it according to some other individual, institution, organization, or based on some newfound belief and trust in one source or another. But the key thing is to, as they extract from the poem, If by, I think it's If, Rudyard Kipling, when he said, something in relation to keeping your heads, or keeping your head when all others are losing theirs. That's something to be noted in this day and age. And there's another term I like to use. I borrowed it. Take no one's word for anything, including mine, but trust your experience. Know whence you came. And that's a poem. That piece there I like. So I decided to share that piece as well. Take no one's word for anything, including mine, but trust your experience. Trust your experience. Good afternoon, Mikey Morris in the Bronx, I believe, in New York. He says, hi, Mr. Malcolm. Greetings to you and your staff of Power 106 FM radio station. Thank you, Mikey Morris. Same to you. And he goes on to say, welcome to another day, Thursday, March 14, 2024, on both sides of the story. Enough blessing, sir. Enough blessing to you, too. Thank you very much. And let's keep those messages coming in. And remember, we're still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
Good to be on the program this afternoon with you and to be able to share with you and to share with your many listeners.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me begin by publicly commending Commissioner of Police Designate Dr. Kevin Blake on his new appointment to the position. It is germane to note that the Police Officers Association, led by FSP Wayne Cameron, along with the Police Federation, and instructively, the opposition PNP has also commended Dr. Blake on his appointment and are fully supporting him as commissioner when he takes of office officially in a few days.
Is it the 18th, I think?
Yes, the 18th of Dervan.
Mm-hmm.
One of the major priorities at this time for Dr. Blake is to revamp, restructure the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Cybercrime Unit, get the required funding in place, upgrade the unit, properly staff it. The unfortunate situation presently is that we have a cybercrime unit which is, my word, not functioning up to the required level. And we are still having cybercrimes and lottery scamming cases being thrown out of the court for lack of cybercrime reports. This issue must be tackled frontally by Dr. Blake when he assumes office. We cannot, as a country, have a underperforming cybercrime unit within the context and framework that cybercrimes and lottery scamming is out of control in the 14 parishes of Jamaica, but principally to a large extent in Western Jamaica. The Police Services Commission, I just mentioned the 6 functions of the Police Services Commission for the information for your listeners. The Police Services Commission's main functions: appointments and or promotions of members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force of and above the rank of inspector. 2, confirmation of appointments of and above the rank of inspector. 3, retirement, general ill health, age, premature retirement, retirement in the public interest. 4, disciplinary proceedings and punishment. against members of and above the rank of inspector. 5. Appeals of a rank. And finally, selection of officers and members for training courses and study leave.
One moment, please. One moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
This message is brought to you by the Jamaica Environment Trust.
We need clean air to breathe, good healthy food to eat, grown clean and naturally. We have to take responsibility.
Access to deforestation, burning garbage, dust and noise creation is an unlawful violation. We have to practice conservation. We have a right to a healthy environment, and the law so don't break our limit. If you have an issue, make a complaint. Let's work together to protect Jamaica. We have a right to a healthy environment, and the law so don't break our limit. Africa we part to keep the place clean and take care of our island sing.
We all have a right to a healthy and clean environment. Report any issues to the authorities if you feel your rights have been breached. Call the Jamaica Environment Trust for more information. The Bible Speaks. 30 minutes of vitalizing motivation grounded in the Word of God. The Bible Speaks, showcasing soothing spiritual music from across the world. It's The Bible Speaks with Reverend Dr. Aaron Damas every Sunday from 6:30 to 7 a.m. here on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Thanks for holding. Please continue.
Thank you very much, Dervan. Much obliged to you. Many persons or some persons, I must add, are not aware that the Police Services Commission is also responsible for the selection of officers and members for training courses, both here and overseas, and for the appointment of police commissioners. The members are the Honorable Gordon Shirley, OG Chairman, Rear Admiral Peter Brady, Professor Anthony Hill, Mr. Walter Scott, King's Counsel, and Miss Vinette Miller. Those persons were responsible for the official and lawful appointment of Dr. Blake as Commissioner of Police. I think they chose quite a suitable, competent, and qualified person. We wish Commissioner Blake well. The other issue which I'd like to discuss with you, Dervan, has to do with Dr. Nigel Clark's presentation. I think overall, Minister Clark is to be commended for presenting an outstanding budget presentation. No new taxes, projected increased revenue of $137 billion from income tax, GT, special consumption tax, custom duties, travel taxes, and transportation taxes, increasing the income tax threshold to $1.7 million. I am quite satisfied with that limit. I am happy that he did not go further. Increasing the threshold to $1.7 million will cost the government $9 million. I think the country can afford that. The important issue of modernizing and making much more effective and efficient government procurement process is long overdue, Dervan, and I'm happy that Minister Clark is seeking to address this. Government investment to reach 1 trillion Jamaican dollars over the next 5 years in Jamaica, a historical record. Some persons seem not to be cognizant of the fact that Jamaica successfully launched the Jamaica bond on the overseas market last year, November, a historical accomplishment never before done in the country's history. And as Dr. Clark outlined yesterday, Jamaica should be proud of this accomplishment. Minister Clark also astutely pointed out that public servants did not receive any meaningful salary increases for the past 10 years. And today, thankfully, all categories of public and civil servants are now paid very well. I have not heard many categories of public and civil servants complaining about the low salary. The Jamaican economy.
That doesn't necessarily mean that they don't exist, though.
Pardon me?
That doesn't necessarily mean that they don't exist.
That, yes, I would concur with that perspective. The Jamaican economy fully recovered, Dervan, fully recovered from the COVID-19 virus. Can you imagine that during the 2-year period, Jamaican economy did not collapse? No public servant was laid off, and the economy held up. It held up, Dervan, because of the economic policies that were in place at that time, implemented by Minister Clark. I think within the private sector, 150,000 persons were made redundant. And today, many of the rating agencies, at least 2 of them, have commended the government for having a top-performing economy in the world.
Well, both the last set of governments
Yes.
that we have had have established certain significant arrangements. In the
Yes.
case of the economy, for example, having the oversight body and insisting on fiscal responsibility and so on and so forth. So both sides, and when I say both sides, in reference to the two main political parties,
Yes.
that they both have been able to come to agreements and arrangements and policies which they both agree to. And
Yes, I think that.
and that has made a difference.
Hello?
Yes, I'm saying that kind of understanding between the two major political parties has
Yes.
made a difference in certain outcomes, as you've listed a short while ago.
Yes, and I think that Dr. Peter Phillips deserves a high level of commendation for the accomplishment that he had while he was Minister of Finance and allowed GLP government to pick up positively from where the PNP picked up from ministers. The performance and the achievements that Dr. Phillips had, the GLP and Minister Clark and Minister Shaw continue them. That is what we need in Jamaica in terms of consistency of government policies and programs.
And there is an attempt to have a similar arrangement for national security and related matters, but not sure how well that one is doing. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes. The government is able to pay down if more of the debt than due when repayments are due. This has never been achieved in the history of Jamaica. No guarantor for applicants and those receiving student.
What about those who argue that the government is holding back too much and need to put more out there?
Yes, that is an argument which is important as well. And from the other angle, in terms of the trickle down effect for the ordinary Jamaicans in terms of benefits, that angle has to be taken a look at.
Mm-hmm.
The tax exemptions for pensioners was needed and is praiseworthy. 25% income tax rate for companies providing trust and corporate taxes, providing trust and corporate services, and the reduction in the corporate income tax rate from 33% to 25% for independent power producers who will be producing 75% of energy
for the grid
from renewable energy sources. It's interesting to see how this one will pan out, because so far the private power producers have not reached to that level as yet. I have some disagreements with Finance Minister Clark, quite respectfully, Dervan.
Mm-hmm.
For an unemployment insurance to be implemented would require an additional tax salary deduction of between 0.8 to 1.5%, as Minister Clark said, from PAYE employees. Under no circumstances should the Redundancy Act be abolished to accommodate this unemployment insurance. And I agree with the trade union in opposing this. The Redundancy Act has been in effect for 50 years. I do not see any reason. It has worked well. It has always worked to the benefit of the workers and employees in Jamaica. I do not see why the Redundancy Act should be abolished. And he has not further explained how an unemployment insurance scheme would be much better and tangible than the Redundancy Act. When the tax, we were speaking last week about the agricultural sector, Dervan. When the tax on raw food produce and imports are removed, how will the Jamaican farmer be able to compete with those cheap food imports which will enter Jamaica tax-free? I cannot see the logic of Minister Clark removing the tax on those food imports. It will have a devastating impact on the Jamaican farmers.
Well,
they will not be able to compete.
Hold a moment, please. One moment.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high-quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
RJR Vina Group.
The RJR Vina Cross Country Sports and Family Fun Day rolls into Montego Bay Saturday, March 16, Harmony Beach Park from noon to 6 p.m. Experience the fun at our e-gaming and board game zones, Kiddies Village, mini Olympic challenges, football and beach football, plus free health checks. Win big in our jingle and dance competitions and live auction of smart TVs, smart watches, and more. To enter, cut out your auction cash from the winner and the star. Performances by Prince Saj, QC, Kemar Hypon, Admiral Bailey, The Angel, Maca Diamond, and more. That's the Cross Country Sports and Family Fun Day, Saturday, March 16, Harmony Beach Park, starting at noon. The RGR Vina Cross Country Invasion. 20 years of one nation, one family is brought to you by Delect Foods, Sunshine Snacks, Guardian General Insurance Jamaica, Honey Bun, Massey Distribution, H&L Agro, H&L Rapid True Value, Inca Jamaica Limited, Recycling Partners of Jamaica, Partners Heart and Health, Caribbean School of Medical Sciences Jamaica, Regional Sponsor, University of the West Indies, Western Campus.
Thanks for holding. It perhaps calls for opportunities to question the decisions and the choices that the decision makers put forward, so that we can get an understanding of the purpose for certain decisions and solutions. Wouldn't you say?
From a logical and practical framework, what benefits will the country receive and the local farmers receive by removing the tax on imported food products?
Right. So that's what we're suggesting, that the opportunity presents itself for open, frank, and forward and detailed responses to the questions that you and others are asking in reference to agricultural produce, for example.
Yes. Where are the germane policies that will expand and drive the local manufacturing and agricultural sectors? Why has the PATH program not been increased? Where is the funding to expand and fund widely the important school feeding program within the public schools? Where are the policies to reduce the country's $2.5 billion annually import food bill, that is? Less Jamaicans are living on a livable wage. And what is happening now is that you have what is called autonomous consumption income, such as scamming, remittances, and organized crime. Those are expanding and fueling the underground economy of Jamaica and not being dealt with adequately.
Well, here we go again, another opportunity from a particular strategic standpoint to use the moment to impress upon the commissioner, on the incoming commissioner, on how important certain decisions are going to be if certain objectives are going to be met. And there's an expression my mom used to use. She used to say, "New broom sweep clean."
Yeah.
So while the broom is sweeping clean, it's an opportunity to ensure that that clean will be a lasting clean. Maybe not even literally, but figuratively. You get the picture.
Yes. The commissioner will have to put in place strategies to address the issues, but he can't make any inroads, any positive inroads into these organized crime issues if he does not have the funding that is required within the police force. The disposable income earned from salaries and assets have been shrinking and purchasing power declining. I wanted to hear much more in terms of any policies that Minister Clark would have thought to put into place to ease and tackle the very, very high and constant increase in the cost of living expenses. the needed 50% increase in the national security budget, not one single dollar, Dervan, has been allocated in the budget for the new fiscal year to address cybercrime. Where is the government funding? I was speaking to you last week about the importance of small and medium-sized businesses, and the importance for a fund to be established at a very low rate to allow them to be established. Minister Clark, I am hoping in his closing debate that he will address this. It is these businesses, small and medium-sized businesses, that will drive the economic base and drive the economic growth. The productivity levels, data show that between 2018 and 2022, Jamaica's labor productivity rate has declined at an average of 0.8%. In the 48 years between 1970 and 2018, the island's labor productivity rate cumulatively have dropped or declined by over 26%. There are several things required to lift Jamaica's productivity rate, and it has to come from specific government policies. Can you imagine, Dervan? Can you imagine that nearly 70% of the island's workforce have no training or certification for the job they do? A third of the students and primary school students who graduate are barely literate. 7 in 10 students complete high school without certification. And lastly, but importantly, 3 in 10 of the cohort go on to tertiary education and training. It would be good, in closing, if we could reach a stage in Jamaica, Dervan, where the education sector is fully funded. We can have the Orlando Patterson recommendations fully implemented, at least 50% of the recommendations, and that we can reach a stage in Jamaica's development where universities can be free for all to attend who qualify. Those are my comments this afternoon, Dervan, in regards to the budget. Thank you very much for taking my call. All the best to you and the team. Keep up the excellent work on this program. All the best to you and to your callers. Always a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you very much for the call. All the best. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Mikey Morris says, I just tuned in. I'm here listening to you and faithful listening fans. Mike Montgomery says, good afternoon, teacher, to you and your listeners. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you too, Mike Montgomery. To the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. Coming up at 3:30, we're scheduled to have your legal corner with Dahlia Walker Huntington. Till then, we'll take some more of your calls. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm calling two regards. One regard is that I just heard your caller talk about education to university level.
Yes.
Is that caller aware that Mike and Man is bringing a program whereas a child could be educated up to university level 3? All he or she has to just get and do 1 year youth service or 2 year youth service?
That sounds like a progressive thing.
Yeah, that was progressive on the Mike and Man. So what they are talking now is that that person doesn't have that knowledge about what was going on back in the 70s up to the 80s. When Seaga tried to set the CIA again to overthrow Michael Mali government. And the second thing I want to talk about is the banking system in Jamaica. Right?
Yes.
Most of the banking machines are not working. And when you go to the bank to report it, they say, yes, they're going to fix it. When you call the line that is on the machine, you're speaking to somebody in India. Right now, I'm telling you that in Spalding's, Manchester, and in a lot of the bank machines in Manchester is not working. You have to go to either the Scotia bank machine or the bank or the NCB bank.
Yeah, that has turned out to be quite a problematic experience for so many, young, old, and in between.
Yeah, so what are they going to do about it?
Yeah, well, it's a subject we have touched on more than a few times, and what we have suggested is that the customers insist beyond whatever insistence they have let show, but to insist as a collective that the issues they're having, the problems they're having, that the banking team will come back to the people, the customers, the clients.
The banking machine is installed in Manchester. Has been out of service for 10 business days. I went to the bank in Christian and I told them, I called the service center, which I spoke to somebody in India. And I don't know if it's fixed all now. Maybe I have to go there and see really what is happening out here. But just when you call back again, tell that caller that. What happened in...
All right, don't bother go back there. You got one opportunity already. Let's rest with that and move forward. All right, don't get too worked up about that. All right, thank you for the call. Good. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Let's take another call, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Afternoon, Mr. Dervan.
Good afternoon.
First time calling the program.
Thanks for calling. What's on your mind this afternoon?
There was the amount of things on my mind this afternoon, but we just want to start with the farming thing.
Mm-hmm.
Dervan, I mean, the food security in the country, Dervan, it really look weak and it really look like everybody's afraid to touch it.
It's something we need to not just pay keen attention to, but we have to stay on top of it because, as I've said over and over again, that for years we've been having discussions of a policy nature, of especially when it comes to agriculture, touting the benefits of agriculture and as a sector and so on and so forth, and just a whole lot of talk. That is not to say there haven't been moves, like direct moves and life, well, maybe not life-changing, but moves that can make a difference.
You feel like you could have some sort of food security, you see? People that have about this kind of food crisis and food crisis. I mean, people that still have about, you feel like that amount of people that have.
It would no doubt make a difference if to have that going. Go ahead.
Even the price, even the cost and the price and the goods. I mean, some of them goods they couldn't really raise because we have no for them food in store, you know.
Yeah, so it calls for. Go ahead.
You don't feel something there.
Hold a moment, please. One moment.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
Your taxes hold the key. Let's get digital. Get online this March 15. File and pay your final income tax return for 2023 and estimated return for 2024. There are so many options. JamaicaTax.gov.jm, direct funds transfer, NCB online banking, and Scotia online and mobile app. Pay your taxes the digital way. All returns must be filed online and on time. Tax Administration Jamaica, changing the way we do business. Buy a bag of Hydro Feeds and win a bag of cash in the Farm to Fortune promotion. Buy Hydro, watch your pocket grow. Watch it grow with Hydro. Farm to Fortune, that's the way to go. Win millions and credit for your phone. When you buy your feed from Hydro. When you buy your feed from Hydro. Hydro is giving away millions in the Farm to Fortune promotion. Buy any qualified Hydro feed and text the entry code in the bag for your chance to win. Enter today. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting Gaming and Lotteries Act. Join your favorite nighttime show, Dear Pastor, with Reverend Dr. Aaron Damas, Monday to Thursday from 9 to 11 p.m. Call in or text in and have great discussions with Dear Pastor as we exchange views on a range of subjects. That's Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Damas, Monday to Thursday from 9 to 11 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM, the Power 106 FM app, and go-jamaica.com.
Thanks for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. Thanks for holding.
Yeah, Dervan. I've been after Dervan. When you're a young child and broke, right, Dervan?
Yes.
You know what the main thing make your parents always feel for you go out and eat from people?
Poison?
No only price, them don't show what you're going to eat. Them not sure if it's healthy enough for you.
Mm.
So them always want it. So when you go out on the road, don't try to eat from people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's one of the first thoughts in food security. You try to have your food.
Right.
That means to say when evening come on morning, you know where you eat, you're sure where you're going to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, you can't believe that everybody has put too much interest in the bank for bank the money and now put interest in the bank for bank the food. And the two of them should have run in line. And that even the blood bank, because of the amount of accidents that we have on the road there. That's one of the main things we should have to use some food security because we always are going to need blood storage. So we always have to make sure that you have the nation and eat as healthy as we can. That's where we can get. Whatever time we want blood, we can get blood from the people. But I don't understand why I go on there, man.
It's a matter of priority, what we consider to be priority. What should be number one, number two, number three, and so on and so forth. And then the extent to which we're able to get those off the ground, the number 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., off the ground and running, which would then serve as a fillip to those of us looking to produce as far as agriculture is concerned.
We really need some real serious leaders to really deal with them things. Them things are not working. What are going to happen in the next 5-10 years? Everything we're going to eat from overseas.
Which is why I had mentioned.
And yet still somebody said the best things the people who have to buy over the world are the things that come from Jamaica. That makes sense? So you have to show you all of your culture and then you pay for your next man culture. How can you manage that, Dervan? How can anybody support that?
It's a function of the mindset of people in terms of what they do, how they do it, when they do it, why they do it.
If you are leaving a country, you go look for your family in Dervan and you don't care enough. That means you have to go buy everything when you reach down there. And not a simple Muslim there now. We really need to
it
look bad. Everywhere you turn, you see fast food. place that open for you down to one little food bank bill.
But they will tell you, surprise, surprise, that a lot of those outlets are fed literally and figuratively by the agricultural produce grown right here in Jamaica.
Yeah, but that's just a little bit of some of the items that they need food. We can do much more better, and it's been a long time now. That's what like what about the ANC? That's like 30, 40 years now. But we really need somebody to really take up that finance serious. We can't continue at this rate. We can't continue, Dervan. Can't continue. Nobody really deal with the agriculture people.
Well, we do have established entities like was just referenced a while ago about the AMC. I'm not sure the extent to which that is fully operational at this point.
Dervan, we really need to get a hold on that, Dervan, because why talk about it cannot be a field. And they go and drive right back in our property and slavery. So it don't make sense to beat around the bush. Dervan, you can't be a field. How much money you can earn to go buy some good food, or how much money you can earn to go buy 1 week worth of good food carrying at your house. You have to buy some of them because something when really good for people eat and just have to full, and then after that you end up sick.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really see the university and the university and the agriculture really are combined and do some really serious research and planning. We don't really see.
Well, the best combination I've seen is literally waking up at the College of Agriculture, Science and Education case and watching these young people milking cows and doing all kinds of agricultural work, which they also use as a means of channeling resources and commercialize some level of commercialization as well.
One of the time, I think there was a doctor done by university that was some great research in, I think it was Winston Deal, something like that. India do some great research. I don't hear anything more about that again. And some kind of medicine them can make out the plants them at Jamaica. It's not like that. No. We're not going to no authentic no towards farm. We're not going to niche market towards farm. And then say all our product so wanted all over the world. What really happened? It seems like to me, Dervan, Jamaica built on a working class.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody don't intend to change that because it benefits some. The minority benefit them to most of the people them in the country are from the working class.
That's a fair comment, yes.
Yeah, but you know, and you know what that lead up to do? You know, no matter what you do, that lead up to less production, no matter what you do.
How so?
Because all right, every time when you wake up this man and you figure out that you have to go do something to the boss and you don't have nothing to do for yourself, you don't. Yeah. Over time, your spirit that job, you know, putting so much production again. You need something for yourself. So you need to know that you good at something. You need a little investment towards that you can have something for yourself on the table.
Well, they do have some of these organizations, industries, have some kind of arrangement that affords the employees, the workers, opportunities to benefit from the revenues, the earnings of the organization.
Dervan, believe me, Dervan. That country, I'm one of the most blessed countries, but me I tell you, when you talk about we just have resource, man, it's Jamaica, man. Every day, me people are quiet, but how come we have so much rubbish I go dump and we don't have food security? Where the rubbish come from? Where the rubbish come from, Dervan?
Well, they say each of us generate more than a pound of waste.
That hurts now. That is a big loss, you know, for really every day look at the rubbish pile up and yet we don't have some sort of food security, we don't have no underground food storage and them little thing there. And they are joking things, them they are simple things there, everyone. I don't know, them they don't need no rocket science, you know. All of them they start farm homes, so that means most of them people are we're in a high place. They don't remember the home where they come from. Them now go back home after them reaching the high place, they don't go back home. All of them are where you learn at home.
It's the willingness to do that will make the difference. And if people are not prepared, if people are just prepared to give lip service to these subjects and policies and programs and so on, they have to get up and go. Things are not just not going to happen magically. You have to put in, and some of us are impatient. Some of us are not patient enough to allow certain things to take hold, which would then move to another stage of development and resources that will inure to the benefit of the country.
I don't remember if I honor the CNP or the JLP program, but I can remember a couple years ago, one of the biggest talks in agriculture was that them going to incentivize farmers. Nothing more, you don't hear nothing more about that again.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier on. I've been hearing, and I've said it over and over again on this program. I've heard it, all this sweet talk about agriculture and what we need to do and how we're going to do it and when we're going to do it and why we're going to do it. And then we're still waiting for it to be done and still nothing yet or very little. Or this one started, but it stopped. We have to be more serious than that.
Dervan, big announcement means when you announce things, you make big announcement. That means people now go do nothing with them and go strong and wait to see what happens. They didn't know that. They know that, don't it?
No, but that's not common sense.
No, I know about that, but look here at the practice. When you hear people make big announcements, you don't say, all right, like how them say rain go fall, you could say 10 bucks to catch the water. You wait till the rain start falling because all of those announcements, 95% that it never really come on board yet. So obviously people just sit down and wait for everything.
Well, you don't need a PhD to document all of that, in this age of technology. Most people have a smartphone. Record it. Record some of the announcements as they are being made. And if you need to make a point along those lines, take out your tape and play your tape. And you don't have to say another word. You just play the tape. Argument finished. Or as we say in Jamaica, argument done.
But terrible. It's so logic, but it don't really fan out to the answer because at the end of the day, most of the people that making those big announcements, them not really have to shame like tomorrow if they come on board, boy, they would have come out and say, boy, them sorry, them have to go do something about it or them.
Why would people need to be ashamed? People don't need to be ashamed. Oh. If you promise something and you've come to the point where it doesn't appear as if it's working out or it's downright just not going to work out, just tell the world what the situation is. Tell us what is the situation. Why or why not?
We really need some food security, Dervan. The food price, yeah. The food price and it's not really a work out. And if it's a code, what you call it, we import. If it's a code, we import this to we export this. It's not really that much.
Yeah, it's still a whole heap of work to be done. We're going to break for our feature, our regular Thursday afternoon feature.
Okay, Dervan, have a good day.
All right, thank you for the call. Please call again.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 8:30.
Mosquitoes will breed in containers that hold water. Tightly cover water storage containers such as drums, buckets, and tanks, or cover the water surface with cooking oil. Punch holes in all tins, plastic containers, and boxes to prevent the collection of water before disposal. Cover old tires or fill with dirt. Scrub all vases once per week to remove mosquito eggs and dispose of garbage by placing in plastic bags. Do your part to prevent mosquito breeding.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
On your mark.
The ISA Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships takes place from Tuesday, March 19 to Saturday, March 23 at the National Stadium, and Power 106 FM has got you covered with all the action. Tune in to both sides of the story.
Thanks a lot for making it both sides of the story. Poro 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. Good afternoon to Errol Townsend. Thank you very much for your afternoon greeting. Thank you. Ambleton Ray says, Grand Rising, Kingman. Grand Rising to you too, Ambleton Ray. Thank you very much for your message. Keep those calls coming in. Oh, I'm sorry. What am I saying? Let's get back on track. It is a Thursday afternoon, just after 3:30, and you know what that means? Time for Your Legal Corner with U.S. Immigration Attorney Dahlia Walker Huntington. Good afternoon to you, Miss Dahlia. How are you?
Afternoon, Dervan. I'm doing well. How are you?
I am fine, thanks. Wonderful.
Just want to remind you that you're saying it's 3:30. It's 4:30 in the Eastern Standard Time, daylight saving time. So we sprung forward on Sunday in the majority of the United States. So we are 1 hour ahead of you now.
How easy has that been to adjust to, though, over the years?
I think the older you get is the more difficult. It did not used to bother me at all, but I must confess, it took me several days, and I'm still trying to get on track. I guess probably in about a week, I will be back, and then when I come to Jamaica, then I'll get confused all over again.
Never mind. All right, listeners. So here's your opportunity. Dahlia Walker Huntington is on and she's ready to answer your questions. 876 922 4112 to 5. Any question to do with U.S. immigration, any U.S. immigration questions that you have, this is the time, this is the place. Here are the numbers once again, 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. But of course, let's not forget the Power 106 FM text line, which is the same as the WhatsApp number. We'll run those numbers again in a bit, but let's get the show on the road. So once again, any questions that you have in relation to U.S. immigration, you have come to the right place, and it's Your Legal Corner with U.S. Immigration Attorney Dahlia Walker Huntington. Any Any new developments from where you sit, Miss Delia, on matters we discuss on this program?
Well, one thing I did point out last week, priority dates and how long it's taking for people, and sometimes the priority dates just don't change. Well, there was a change in the priority dates from February to March. So, for example, in the F1 category, which is the over 21-year-old unmarried son or daughter of an American citizen, that's the F1 preference category. In March, it moved to February 8th of 2015. In February, it was at February 1 of January 1st of 2015. So they have moved ahead, and in this category, it looks like they move about 5.5 weeks. So that's good news. In the F2A category, which is the spouse or under 21-year-old child of a green card holder, the spouse or under 21-year-old child of a green card holder, they moved to June of 2020. In last month, they were doing February of 2020. So they moved ahead several months there. In the F2B category, which is the adult unmarried son or daughter of a green card holder, that's the over 21-year-old unmarried son or daughter of a green card holder. This month, they're processing persons with priority dates of November 22nd of 2015. Last month, they were at October 1st of 2015. So again, probably about a 6-week jump. In the F3 category, which is the married son or daughter of an American citizen, this month they're doing October 1 of 2009. Last month they were doing April of 2009. So that again is a significant jump by several months. And in the F4 category, which is the sibling of an American citizen, this month they're doing June 8th of 2007, as opposed to last month they were doing May 22nd. So again, about a 6 weeks. So that's some significant movement there, Dervan. Weeks to months for persons who have been waiting. So it's inching along. If your priority date is not yet current, just keep listening, or check in the State Department's website at travel.state.gov, that's .gov, and just put in visa bulletin and look for your preference category. So that's some good news.
And what about the advisories? They're off now or still up there?
No, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, the travel advisories are still there. It's interesting how the media operates. Jamaica has been at level 3 before and for a while, but for some reason, this particular advisory
I checked
included,
in the side
medical
where behind
situation
the juice, I don't see it. And then he called it, I don't see it.
picked up by just
Where is
about,
it might be?
I'd say, a significant number of media houses.
Because I
not
checked.
just the main,
Like behind, underneath it.
call it main
You left
networks,
it?
but also the local media picked up
Oh.
on it.
Because I look behind the cupola.
Hello, sorry about that. Hello?
Yes, seems
Sir.
I've lost me there.
You're back up now, though.
Okay.
Right. Okay. All right, so we'll continue with more on your program. Both sides of the story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And still taking your calls on your legal corner. Any questions that you have with regard to U.S. immigration, you have come to the right place, and we look forward to your full participation here on your legal corner. So keep those questions coming in on the text line.
Dervan, I'm not hearing you.
Sorry about that. All right, I just figured what was the situation. Yeah, sorry about that. So sorry, listeners. Thank you very much for your patience. I'm looking for the text messages in relation to questions of a U.S. immigration status. So let's see if we can read a few of those messages. All right, here we go. Here's one from Carla, Karla. Carla says, "Good evening, Miss Dahlia. I can't get used to the daylight saving." And she puts up these emojis, having a good laugh. So that's what she picked up on. And in terms of the other messages, thank you very much. 876-365-3346. That's the WhatsApp number, same as the regular number that you would call us on. 876-365-3346. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number. So any questions that you have in relation to U.S. immigration matters, here's your opportunity to have those questions answered. And we're going through quickly just to identify. And last week, we had some of those messages that we said we were going to bring forward to this week and just hadn't gotten around to doing it. Sorry about that. So sorry, go ahead.
While you're searching for the messages there, let me just bring up something
Sure.
that can be very helpful to someone, and on the other hand can be very devastating when it's not done. So Jamaicans who live overseas, Jamaicans, Caribbean people who live in America, I urge you to become a citizen of the United States as soon as it is possible that you qualify for it. A lot of times, having a parent who is a U.S. citizen with whom you resided is the only way to stave off deportation for some people, or to bring them back to the United States after they've been deported. A lot of times we see people who they're elderly now, their children, their son or their daughter got deported for various reasons, and the only way they can come back in some of these cases is if they had a parent who was an American citizen and with whom they resided. So if you lived in Florida with your mom, but your dad was a citizen and he lived in New York, if you can't prove you lived with your dad in New York, then you can't claim, while you were under 18, you can't claim derived citizenship from that parent. So I really encourage people, for a lot of other reasons, I've encouraged people over the years to become U.S. citizens, but certainly this is one of them, an important one, that you may be helping your children down the line, and in effect helping yourself, because again, sometimes people get elderly and they want their sons or their daughters to be with them and they can't come back because of prior deportation, which could have been prevented, or it could be an avenue for you to get somebody to return to the United States when you prove that they're in fact derived citizenship from their parent. So, among the other things, of course, it stops you yourself from being deported, and it allows you to participate in the governance of the United States by being able to vote in national and local elections. It also opens up avenues sometimes for you for scholarships to go to school that are only available to American citizens, and also jobs that are only available to American citizens, particularly jobs in highly sensitive government jobs or maybe defense contractor jobs. So as soon as you're eligible,
encourage you to become a U.S. citizen. Unless, of course, you plan to go back to Jamaica to run for office or hold a constitutional position, then as the Constitution states now, you wouldn't be able to. Don't know what's going on with constitutional reform. Haven't heard anything about that for a while, but that ought to be something that is on the table as well. Is how does holding public office in Jamaica, how it currently affects Jamaicans who live in the United States.
Okay. All right, let's take a break and come back with more on Your Legal Corner with U.S. Immigration Attorney Delia Walker Huntington in just a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time
On
is
it?
now.
It's okay.
You're listening to Your Legal Corner, your source of information on all matters
They're here.
regarding
So
U.S.
sorry.
immigration.
I didn't know
You
it
can
was
call
They
in
were
with
here.
your
time
questions and concerns on 876-922-4125.
Thanks.
It was in the bag?
You can send a text or WhatsApp
No,
message
it
to
apparently was here.
Looking
And
at
the
both
bag
of
was
us?
blocking us. Bag was
Oh,
blocking us.
so
Back to
weird.
Your Legal
Where
Corner,
is he
hearing
found
both
it?
sides of the story on Power 106
Thank you.
FM.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on Your Legal Corner with U.S. Immigration Attorney Delia Walker Huntington. Any questions at all that you have with respect to U.S. immigration? Here are a couple of the messages from, was it either last week or a week before? So this one says, good afternoon. Can you get a reconsideration for a non-immigrant visa?
No. Theoretically, there's no reconsideration or appeal, but you can file again with a waiver. So, depending on why your case was denied, you can file with a waiver which explains whatever barrier might be keeping you from being granted the visa.
This one says, good afternoon. My sister filed for me over 14 years. I still haven't received any word from on the filing.
Well, they're working on 2007. So, 14 years ago should be, the person should be coming up now or should have. So it's important to, to follow what's going on. Because if it was 14 years ago, they are not. The person needs to go online, do a couple of things. One, go if it's already been approved by USCIS, then you need to look at the visa bulletin. So what your priority date is and what priority date is being worked on. In that category, they're working on June of 2007. If the case has not yet been approved, because they said they haven't heard anything, then you need to take the receipt number and go to USCIS and see what is the status of the case. Sometimes, Dervan, what happens, you have one set of people who are on top of it. They're checking every month, every 2 months, every 3 months. And then others, years go by and they don't get anything. They don't do anything. And their avenue to fix a problem goes away. So sometimes what happens when you file, they will send a request for evidence. They want more information. And somebody may have moved or the address wasn't written down correctly. And so that request does not get to either the petitioner or the beneficiary. And then the time they give you to respond has expired and then they close the file. So it's very important when you have a case, an immigration case, to know where it is in the system and to keep track of what's going on with it.
Okay, let's see if we can bring up another of these messages. Just a moment. You're listening to your legal corner with Delia Walker Huntington on Power 106 FM. And just trying to, oh dear, where did those messages go?
Let me talk about one other
Sure.
issue that was addressed in my article this week in the Gleaner. Someone wrote and said that they had been deported, and their families in America, and they changed their name, and they want to know what chances they have. So I didn't get all the facts, but just hung up on that change your name issue. Changing your name when you're doing applications for immigration benefits, they ask you specifically, have you used any other name? You have to list all the names that you've used. So changing your name, if the intent is to change who you are or your identity to try to go back, one, it will not work for that reason. And secondly, you're fingerprinted. So your fingerprints are your fingerprints regardless of what name you have. So be careful of trying to do anything to evade the system or to find a workaround. If you've been deported, your file needs to be reviewed to see under what section of the law you were deported. Is there any relief for you? Can you return? Is there a waiver available? Do you have a qualifying relative? All sorts of analysis has to be done. Now, mind you, if you refile, you can get to the embassy. Just about anybody who we file a petition for can get to the embassy for an interview. But the question becomes, what happens at the interview? This is when all of these issues are going to come up. So we definitely want to tell people that changing your name is not going to help you. And although your entire family might be in the United States, that is not enough to get you to return to the US. You have to have a particular waiver available to you or a section of the law under which you can hang your hat for a waiver.
Let's see, Ms. Delia, how soon can you expect to get an interview since you were documentarily qualified in June 2023? My visa category is F11.
So F1 means that they're the adult unmarried son or daughter of an American citizen. Don't know what your priority date is because you have to wait for your priority date to become current, number one, and number two, you then have to wait for there to be space at the embassy to accommodate you for an interview. So in the F1 category, the person is listening. The priority date that they're working on in March of 2024 is February 8th of 2015. So if your priority date is earlier than February 8th of 2015, then you are in line now for an interview to be scheduled for you at the embassy. They're already scheduled April, and they're working on May now, so you may get an interview in June if your priority date is earlier.
And there's
so not everybody whose priority date is current can be accommodated. They're still working on getting more people interviewed, and we're seeing slowly that more and more people are being interviewed each month. So keep that in mind, that the embassy still has to have the appointment available in order to fill you into a slot.
And there's a bit of a rejoinder. And can you travel to the USA or any other country after being documentarily qualified?
Sure, if you have a visa to travel to the US, you can travel at any time. Keeping in mind that if the immigration officer thinks you're not going to return, they can prevent you from landing, cancel your visa, and turn you back. But having been documentarily qualified does not prevent you from traveling.
And here's one that is a little heart-wrenching. It says, hi, Delia, was in the States, was diagnosed with cancer, had to overstay, by extension, came to renew visa, but was denied. Is there a waiver, please?
Well, that's a non-immigrant visa, so the answer would be yes. You could apply for a waiver of the of the denial, but you're going to have to show in a case like this how you took care of yourself while you were in America. So that becomes a major issue. We don't know how long the person overstayed. An unfortunate situation. So, lots of questions would need to be asked on that.
Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering the frequency with which you see clients or otherwise uh, along these lines of health related matters.
It does happen. It does happen. And what we tell the clients to do is if you've come in and you're here for a few weeks or a month not feeling well, or sometimes you meet in a car accident, God forbid, or some kind of slip or fall or something, and you realize that you're going to have to stay beyond the time you had anticipated and are longer than what they gave you at the airport, you need to apply for an extension of your stay. Don't let the time run out. You have to apply for the extension of stay before the period you've been given has expired. You give them evidence as to why you need to stay longer, along with how you're going to support yourself, because that's a big concern for them. And then you apply for an extension of stay.
I see. And the other area is, or situation is when when a woman gets uh, pregnant, and it just so happens that it happened on foreign soil.
You mean the birth?
The birth.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, it's not illegal for you to have a child in America if you don't have residency or citizenship. What happens, unfortunately, to a lot of women is that they accept public benefits to give birth. So the child is an American citizen and is entitled to Medicaid and all of the benefits if you're unable to pay for the birth. But you, as the immigrant, accepting Medicaid is not a violation of Medicaid, but it's a violation of your immigration, of your visa, because you've become a public charge on the United States. And we see a lot of women who lose their visas when they go to renew. Years ago, women used to get turned back a lot. I have not really heard about that in the last few years. When I say turn back, I mean they're coming on another trip with their American citizen child, and they have a B1, B2. Immigration officer asks, where was this child born? Who paid for the birth of the child? And you said Medicaid, they cancel your visa, send you back. I used to hear a lot of horrific stories of women having to sleep in the airport because there's no flight to go back to Jamaica until the following day. So we always tell the clients and the listeners to be careful. Sometimes they fall into this trap by family members in America who tell them, yes, man, get Medicaid. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to worry. You don't have to pay for it. And that is true, but it affects your visa. And here's the kicker, Dervan. You can't repay Medicaid. You can't say, okay, now I find out I want to pay you back. You can only repay Medicaid if you fraudulently obtained Medicaid services. And to get Medicaid, to have a baby, is not fraud. It's not a violation of Medicaid, but it's a violation of your visa. So it's a slim distinction, but a very important one. And many women have lost their visas because of it.
Another time we'll talk some more, Miss Dahlia. Thank you so much for this week's edition of Your Legal Corner. And please remind us how you can be reached.
Sure, to get in touch with me, it's 954-963-8555. That's 954-963-8555 to call me in the United States. Practice immigration law throughout the U.S. and Florida. We do family law as well. You're in Jamaica and you want to schedule an appointment, it's 876-969-9666, 876-969-9666, or 925-0949. Thanks again, Dervan. You take it easy and have a good week.
Thank you, and you likewise. All the best.
Thanks.
Good.
Thank you.
Take care.
You've just listened to Your Legal Corner, your source of information for all matters regarding U.S. immigration. Join us next Thursday at 3:30 p.m. for Your Legal Corner during both sides of the story, right here on Power 106 FM. At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4:01 on Power 106.
Power 106 FM, the digital sound, and now reaching you in more ways. Listen to us.
immigration queries and concerns on 876-922-41125 or send a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598 and get the answers you need for your U.S. immigration questions. That's Your Legal Corner with Dana Walker.
Yeah, I just spoke with him. He's sending it.
Both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm, only on Power 106 FM. Poor roads a major concern? What about those drains that are in need of repair or cleaning? Who's responsible for repairing my road and when will it be done? Join us this and every Tuesday morning at 8 during Morning Agenda as we travel on our roads with the National Works Agency and get answers to these and other concerns. You're welcome to visit their website at www.nwa.gov.jm. See the tender notices link for projects to be undertaken. You may also call them toll-free at 1-888-429-5NWA. That's 1-888-429-5692. Or follow them on Twitter at NWA_JA and Facebook at www.facebook.com/NWA Jamaica. The National Works Agency, developing safe, reliable, and quality roads. Join us every Sunday for Indian Talent on Parade with Dr. Winston Dolan from 5 to 6 p.m. Listen and learn all you need to know about the Indian community, culture, and music. That's Indian Talent on Parade with Dr. Winston Dolan, 5 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, right here on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
See it? Okay, good. Five minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all listening. Thank you very much for tuning in. How's everybody this afternoon? It's a good time for us to ask ourselves quite a lot of questions. And there's a question we always ask. But we'll come back to that because time is going and we have a guest who is waiting in the wings. So we are going to say hello, good afternoon, and welcome to HR Manager Shadisha Douglas Mitchell. Good afternoon to you. How are you?
Good afternoon, Dervan. I am quite well.
That is good. I am fine, thanks. I'm fine, thanks. And I gather you are putting together an awesome health and wellness fair tomorrow.
Oh, yes, it's a lot of work, but believe you me, the team, we are here on the ground and we are working to make it the best ever.
And let's tell our listeners we're referring to the Maritime Authority of Jamaica's first health and
Wellness fair.
there you go. And what's the theme you're working with?
Our theme is actually, it's never too late to get healthy. Start today.
Wise words.
Yes, because it really is never too late, health. It might be getting up in age and you say, oh, it's too late. Believe you me, it's never too late. Once you have the urge to start, just start. And we're encouraging people to start today.
And where is the fair scheduled to take place?
Well, it would actually be downtown, 12 Ocean Boulevard. It's where the Orange Park is. So if anybody knows downtown, the UDC building, yes, we will be right in the Orange Park.
What are the hours of this health and wellness fair?
It's between the hours of 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And does it matter who turns up? Is everybody invited?
Everybody is invited. If you're coming on UDC building to do business and you're just walking by and you want to stop, if you are downtown strolling and driving past and you just want to stop, believe you me, everywhere. If you're coming from country and you want to stop to get a free screening, believe you me, it is free. The services is free. Just stop by and just be a part of it.
And looks like a lot of other individuals, institutions, organizations have signed on, have logged on in a manner of speaking.
Oh, yes. We have chairs doing who will be doing free HIV, syphilis, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We have the PSEAP, which is the Public Sector Employee Assistance Program. They are from the Ministry of Health, who will be dealing with mental health. That's very prevalent in nowadays. We have Fruit Blossoms, healthy eating on a budget. We have First Heritage Credit Union, Legal, Dental, Jamaica Red Cross, Sagicor, NHT, NIS, and we also have an NHF. And on the NHF, they have sponsored us through Diabetes Association and Jamaica Cancer Society, Administrator General's Department. Believe you me, it's a host of entities. So just come down and be a part of it.
Well, we want to encourage those in downtown Kingston and surrounding areas to get ready to get, well, maybe I shouldn't use that term. But there's a song that comes that came into my head about let's get physical, but don't want anybody to read that any other way. So let me leave that.
Get your physical examination. Exactly. Come by and get your physical examination. Because believe you me, Red Cross are going to be doing demonstrations, So you may have persons coming in and they might ask you, okay, then from what they have demonstrated, how would you do CPR? How would you do this first aid? You understand? Bandage up the hand. Those things.
Yeah, a lot of useful information.
Yes. And we really want to thank them for coming on board and partnering with us,
Yeah,
and
it's
especially our sponsors.
really
That's right.
good of them, and it's both private and public sector
Yes,
support.
yes, it is.
Mhm.
It is. And we really, really want to thank our sponsors,
Feel free to call the names by all
Yes,
means.
right. From Separate, we just want to big up Deborah Harris and Dinah Parchment, real big up to Separate. And then we have Digicel, big up to Digicel, Rainforest, Jane Trader, Grace Foods. We just want to say a big thank you for sponsoring us. We appreciate all that you guys have done for us. The partnership has been well, it's going well, and we want to continue for years and years and years to come.
Well, long may this health and wellness fair continue. It is essential,
Yes,
and
it
so
is.
we want to encourage those who are going to be downtown tomorrow. I mean, whether that's where you are usually working or otherwise.
Yeah.
And we invite you and encourage you to step into the area. It's the area you said is called Orange.
It's called Orange Park. So
Mhm.
if you are downtown, if you know the UDC building, if you know Digicel building, when you pass the Digicel building, you come to the UDC building, it's right in that area where you have the trees. I think there's like the amphitheater right in the middle right there. We will be there. If you're driving past on the road, you cannot miss. You'll see the tents, you'll see the excitement, and you'll hear the music. Believe me, we will be drawing you in to come and be a part. And remember, it's free. It's free. We're not charging any money. It is free. Yes, come and get your health screening. Free of cost.
There is no time like the present.
And on top of that, we're going to have prizes and surprises, giveaways.
All right.
Yes.
Sounds like it's going to be a lot of healthy fun.
Yes, it will be. It will be. So we're inviting the public to just come. Please be a part of it.
So does it necessarily mean that tomorrow, all things being well, they can wear shorts and sandals? The
Yes,
team?
man. We're not turning away anyone. No one wants to come for a service. Believe you me. That's
Yes.
what we are here for.
Okay. Well, we are happy for the opportunity to spread the word here on both sides of the story on Power 106 FM. And if you're asking what word, it's word of the Maritime Authority of Jamaica's first Health and Wellness Fair, which happens tomorrow, Friday, the 15th of March 2024. And the theme is It's Never Too Late to Get Healthy. Start today.
So tell them to come between 10 to 3 p.m. We'll be here to serve.
That's right. And this is at Orange Park, the outdoor space adjacent to the Office Center building in downtown Kingston. And of course, it's open to the public, it's open to everybody. And lots of opportunities to get a checkup or two. How about that?
Yes, and let them know the first 50% get a smoothie free.
All right, that sounds good.
Healthy smoothies from Fruit Blossom.
All right, we'll check it out. We'll check it out downtown in some hours from now. Yes. All right. Well, thank you very much for spreading the word. Sorry, go ahead.
No, man, inviting everyone, one and all, just reminding them no one will be turned away.
Yes.
We're accepting everyone.
Very good. All right. So we wish you and the other members of the team well as you seek to put on this well-needed health and wellness fair of the Maritime Authority of Jamaica. So well done to you and the team. No problem.
So much, Dervan.
Anytime. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. There's more after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 4:15. I am Prada Hyper Fleets and with a product lost in the farm to fortune promotion. I know, watch your pocket grow, watch it grow with Hyper Hot to fortune. That's the way to go. When millions and credit card to phone. When you buy your feet from Hyper, when you buy your feet from Hyper, Hyper is giving away millions in the farm to fortune promotion. Buy any qualifying Hyper feed and text the entry code in the bag for your chance to win. Enter today. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting Gaming and Lotteries Act. On your mark. Set. The Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships takes place from Tuesday, March 19 to Saturday, March 23 at the National Stadium. And Power 106 FM has got you covered with all the action. Tune in to both sides of the story and Power Play from Tuesday, March 19 to Friday, March 22 for updates. And the live simulcast on Saturday, March 23. Coverage of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships is brought to you by Freeform Factory, Imperial Optical Jamaica, DW Investments, Wilmington Dental, Barry's Hardware, Massive Used Parts, Super Value Auto Center, Coast to Coast Uber Companies, Rock Safe and Vault, Cumberland Medical, Community Meds Pharmacy, Properties Hardware and Farm Store, CIWI Electrical Sales Limited, Ramsey's Auto Parts, Ricardo Stationery and Office Supplies, and Margins Pharmacy. That's coverage of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships from the National Stadium, during both sides of the story and Power Play from Tuesday, March 19 to Friday, March 22, and the live simulcast on Saturday, March 23, right here on Power 106 FM.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon to Viziniri in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland, who always has a lot to say. Hello as well. Well, I don't know if it's automated or it's otherwise, but Richie Nibar pops up and messages are counted, but no sign of Richie Nibar. We hope you're well, Richie Nibar, wherever you are. In Massachusetts, I think you are. That's where you are. This one from Bob Ritchie in Minnesota, Minneapolis. Wishing you and the students of the competition a great time, and thank you once again for accepting being the quiz master. Right, so that was earlier today. And let's see. This one says, good morning and happy Thursday. Well, it's afternoon now. That came in earlier this morning. Thank you very much. After all, you take the time out to write to us and otherwise message us. Least we can do is at least mention that you messaged us. David Crosburn, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for calling. What's on your mind this afternoon? Mr. Crosburn, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
To you and your listeners. Yeah, good afternoon to you and all your listeners.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Sure.
I just want to speak quickly on the budget. One thing that stands out to me.
Sure.
It brought tears to my eyes. The avenue for students to get access loan with them being the guarantor.
Right.
No outside guarantor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really and truly happy for this. And I see it as an avenue to fix one of our country's ills, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I personally can speak of it, Dervan. My eldest daughter, when we applied to the student loan, and the first year, after she completed the first year, student loan said to me, you not qualified for any further loan, because I was working at the time. I had 4 other children at the UWI. 4 of them there at one time. One was in the medical science, one was in at law school over in Barbados, and one was in science, and another daughter.
You have been quite busy. Goodness.
That's the next part of my story, because one was born. Oh, I'm going to that now, but I'll tell you another time. But when the student loan told me that they could not renew, I cried. And I scheduled an appointment, and myself and my wife went. I took my wife with me. My wife is very plumb. All the 4s, 34, 24, 24, 34, 24, 34. She's plumb. So I leaned on her and said, listen, we are not withdrawing our daughter from medical school. We are going home to eat the food. They slipped the leather on her feet, on her shoes, and make her stay in medical school. And we survived by the help of God. And I can tell you this, you can go and look, you and your listeners, and look on the graduation, Green Hill High School graduation in Kentucky. In Kentucky, Greenwood High School, Kentucky. It's on WhatsApp. The 2023 graduation. 283 students, including my granddaughter, that's my eldest daughter, graduated there. And the point I want to make, I learned this from Gludan, Barbara Gludan. Miss Gludan says, line up, she did herself as the first one. So she's have a duty to line up the coach and to ensure that each one follow behind. So she took that responsibility on herself. And I must say, my eldest granddaughter graduated from Greenwood High School in Kentucky, and she's now in her sophomore years at Frankfurt University in Kentucky. Why do I say this? It is a useful example for us here in Jamaica that we could pattern that way how they deal with education in that part of Kentucky in the US. What 283, if you observe the graduation, it's online. Greenwood High School graduating class of 2023. It was about 6 high schools in that area graduated at the university. One then each other 3 the Friday and 3 Saturday at graduation. And what I noticed, all the students, the 283 students that graduated, all of them moved forward together. Not one of them was left behind. We're not going into one area of the army, but they're going into whatever they choose to develop, whatever skills, and they all move up. And I think our Ministry of Education needs to have a look at that. My granddaughter was in round 9 of that graduation, and I'm saying that this avenue for students to not to need any
guarantor.
It's an excellent move, and we as a people must hold on to it because it can fix a lot of our problem in Jamaica, because we are way behind And it's only education will move up to the level that we need to go as a people. And I'll just say, I know, and without a doubt, that if we as a people focus on education and to make the sacrifice to improve, because there's a lot of work to be done in our country, Dervan. A lot. And we as a people can fix it. And I just conclude by saying to our fellow citizens, there's no need to murder anyone and we need to take stock of ourselves. What are we destroying ourselves for? And we all are connected. And it pains my heart to see how we are so vicious against each other, intolerant with each other, have no love for each other. And we are all interdependent. We are all interdependent, and we need to take stock of ourselves and move forward together. In concluding, I'll just say I wrote a letter to the press, and it's online and available for everyone to look on it. I wrote it. It's under the Gleaner archives. The 9th of December, 9th of the 12th, 2023. It was published by the Gleaner. In that article, I made a proposal that how we can move forward together. And I'd like persons to look at it, comment on it, and let us put it together as a document for our country. I'm saying that over the 30-year period, how we can self-finance ourselves and do business with anybody outside, but march forward with what we have in our hands. Thanks for the opportunity. Bless everyone, and God love us all. Be good.
Thank you very much for the call. All the best.
All the very best. Thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaner's website, go-jamaica.com. This one came in today from Miss Evadne. She says, greetings to you, Mr. Malcolm. Hope you're doing great. Best wishes to all at Power 106 and in class today. Please send happy birthday greetings to my niece, Shelly Ann Loudon, and her daughter, Tomoya Loudon, hoping that they will have a wonderful and a God-blessed day. Love both, coming from their aunt, Evadne. Well, happy birthday greetings to Miss Evadne's niece, Shelly Ann Loudon. Hope she heard. This call coming from Florida. Let's see who this is. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm, what happened? I've been trying to reach you from Miss Daily Han and nobody answers me. Usually this number, I will get the answer. What would I have to do next time? Appeal to the Privy Council for you to answer me?
We're terribly sorry to have kept you waiting, sir. Sorry about that.
All right, I understand. All right, we're going to do some serious reasoning now. You have faith in the justice system in Jamaica?
Don't have a choice. This is Jamaica. This is home.
I understand, but why is it when we believe, well, the small man believe that the system failed him, he must go elsewhere for a decision make on his behalf? I don't get it.
Well, if you enjoy a level of freedom, why not take advantage of the opportunities that the freedom provides?
Yet, I hear a lot of Jamaican making noise that they want to get rid of the Privy Council.
Well, nothing wrong with that either. It's a free world. It's a free country.
Yeah, but when they get rid of them, no man.
What do you mean? What do you mean by get rid of in terms of what?
They say we must have the Caribbean Court of Justice. We don't have to go to them. That's what they really mean. They get them out of the way.
Oh.
So the question was, no, when they get them out of the way, and you turn to your own, and you feel like them giving you all time, we going to turn to?
The next option. This is life, you know. Life, the world never stops. I like the analogy of the wheel in London, the London Eye. That huge circular circular spectacle. This does not stop. It doesn't stop. People are constantly getting on and getting off, and it's not stopping. Get on and you get off. That's life. Life goes on.
Put yourself in this predicament, Mr.
Hold a moment, please. One moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:31 on Power 106.
News is on the move. The College of Agriculture, Science and Education in Portland is talking next level agriculture. How? Enter the drone, more efficient spraying, seeding, fertilizing, crop and animal surveillance. Yes, they still train teachers, agronomists, hotel managers, lab doctors, vets, and now the drone pilot. Come fly with Case, 876-993-54368. Online at case.edu.jn. Case, creating opportunities for growth.
Join us weekdays from 6 to 8 p.m. for Power Play, Power 106 FM's flagship program dedicated to the world of sports.
We want to welcome to another edition of Power Play. My name is Cliff Williams.
Power Play with Cliff Williams, focusing on everything sports in Jamaica and around the world. Make sure to tune in to Power Play, providing invigorating sports analysis and discussion, weekdays from 6 to 8 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Good afternoon to all the students listening to us, all the schoolers from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Thanks for holding. Please continue.
Yeah, put yourself in this predicament. Them slap you with a charge. Whether you're guilty, yes or no. Only you know if you're guilty. But them send you in a lockdown for a couple of years, and the only option you have is to go to England and say them can save you. And them save you.
That wasn't the only option.
So, yeah?
That wasn't the only option.
Repeat.
That wasn't the only option.
Yeah, but the one them down here is, when I say, giving you a hard time, and the one I'm going to save you, you turn to them, right?
Well, who wouldn't want to do that? If there's an opportunity of being saved, why not?
Yeah, so why hear so much people say, get rid of them, get rid of them? I can't understand that. And when I hear them play,
that's because they're human beings too, and they have their own ideas of what is and what isn't and what should be and wherefore and all of that. And people will continue to express themselves in that regard. And where opportunities present themselves, people will always come forward to be a part of that experience.
Okay, I understand that. But next point to you know is all those during the trial, all those people who are QC and them say well learning law and whatever. Now, what I hear the Englishman say today on the news, these judges in Jamaica didn't know that once one of the jury get corrupted, they should change the entire jury system and come to somebody else. They didn't know that?
Yeah, people know things. but the extent to which
Yeah, so why you have to wait, sir? Why you have to wait for a man nearly a million miles away to come tell you that? I just don't get it.
no, people are going to go. You have to understand. People are prepared to go to the fullest extent when it comes on to certain matters, including their liberty, their freedom to move about.
Well,
And
I'm
so,
telling every Jamaican, try hold on to that English Privy Council there. Because every time I hear them make a ruling, especially when it comes from, I would call people from the inner city, there's hope for them. I don't want to see the day come when them get rid of them in my lifetime.
so you know what to do then. You lobby.
I'm not going to put myself in trouble, you know, but no man guarantee what might happen in life. So in the event trouble come, there's hope for you on that side. Right or wrong?
I hear you.
All right, boss. So
Thanks.
everything all right otherwise?
Can't complain. We're giving thanks for life. Thank you.
All right, boss.
All the best. Bye-bye. Let's go to the phone lines once again. 876-922-4112-5. This is Both Sides of the Story. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes. What a piece of wickedness going on in this country.
What's that?
What a piece of wickedness are going on.
Wickedness going on in the country. Okay.
Imagine the government is paying $4.5 million a month
For rent.
for rent. This lady office, Fort office. You see, the minister of constitution, blah blah blah. What kind of wickedness that, man? Jamaica is like a poor country, right? And you're gonna take up $30,000 every month and pay for rent. And look at the amount of government building you have downtown what can renovate and turn it into a office. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
What kind of wicked is that, man? These people are wicked people, man.
Why do you describe it as such?
You take up the government, you take up the people's public money, the taxpayers' money, and pay $4.5 million a month rent for a government office, and you have a lot of UDC abandoned building downtown Kingston, what you can renovate and use as an office. You know what's the Minister of Justice office, what them get from the Chinese people and free. You know the amount of...
I don't... Who got what free?
Them get a new building downtown free from the Chinese. The Minister of Justice.
Oh, but don't they have... Aren't they already located up... where's that? Near... Oh, goodness. Eastwood Park, that past Eastwood Park Road going up towards Constant Spring Road there. They have quite a sizable property, that what used to be a plaza. Hello?
I'm talking about the Minister of Foreign Affairs office.
No, it's not Foreign Affairs I'm talking about.
No, I was telling you about the Minister of Foreign Affairs office.
Oh.
I make a mistake and say Minister of Justice.
Oh, I was wondering. Okay.
The new building when they get man downtown.
Yes, that's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade building.
One 10-story building. I heard that a lot of empty room beside here, you know. I don't think it's the Minister of Foreign Affairs occupy all the 10th floor, you know. Why don't you put the Amala Fort office inside here? That took up $4.5 million a month, $50 million a year for rent. The Minister Security Office where them went from Michael Lee Tree. All the money there. Eh? Anyway, you're talking about the Minister Justice Office, right?
Yeah, that sprawling office there.
Yeah, that was the Bowen's Plaza.
I know.
Bowen's Plaza.
I know it well.
Yes. But I don't think it's them whose office, you know. They're paying rent there too, no? They're paying rent.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Why the government don't stop paying the work of millions of dollars for office rent? Why they don't? Look at the amount of about oil. The old Jamaica building where they have downtown. The old Jamaica building.
That used to be that was almost, well, that was initially announced and declared to be the headquarters for the constabulary.
Oh man, yeah.
But that didn't come to anything.
You know the amount of rat and roach and scorpion inside that building now?
Well, you're a brave man. You went in there.
I didn't go in there. But I suspect that there's a lot of roach and rat and scorpion inside, you know.
Eventually, those buildings will bow to development.
Listen, man, that building is a very strong building, man. Very strong building. Why don't you fix up the building and put some government office inside here and stop wasting the people their money and pay rent?
Well, what would be useful is being able to ask questions of the decision makers, those who are directly involved in the procurement of goods and services and buildings.
And they don't care about the people because Jamaica is a very poor country and you waste the cash, you waste the cash, you waste the people in cash and a rent expensive building. Look at the amount of empty abandoned building downtown, man. And downtown is a nice place to have office, you know, man. A nice place, you know, downtown can fix up nice, you know, man. Hey, downtown to me, the environment down there, man, with the sea breeze and all that, man, it's nice. I tell you, the feeling of downtown to me is nicer than the feeling of uptown. Because when you're downtown, you get the nice sea breeze that blowing on your face and all that.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorites as well, down on the waterfront there.
So what they need to do now is fix up the pier in front of the digital building, man, and fix up the place and fix up the abandoned building them all around downtown, man. You know?
But then you might run into another dilemma, because you might end up in a situation where you are the same one who turns around and says, so why do we have to spend so much money on the waterfront?
No, man, I would never say a thing like that, man.
Because you love the waterfront.
No, it's not the waterfront I'm talking about. I'm talking about the downtown, man, and over street, and you have different you have Barry Street, you have King Street, King Street want to fix up back now, you know. King Street mash up now, you know. King Street run down now. You know the old Scotia Bank building on King Street?
Is that part of the property for the courthouse downtown?
No, remember that you used to have a Scotia Bank down there, on King Street. Like you go into the waterfront on the right hand side.
Oh, hold on, that's no longer there?
The building is there, but then locked down the bank.
Oh.
And the building turned out abandoned building now.
Lock down the bank or the building?
No, the bank locked down and the building locked down and turned out abandoned building now.
Okay.
And me, I think I heard.
Hold on a moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
On your marks. Set. The Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships takes place from Tuesday, March 19 to Saturday, March 23 at the National Stadium, and Power 106 FM has got you covered with all the action. Tune in to both sides of the story and Power Play from Tuesday, March 19 to Friday, March 22 for updates, and the live simulcast on Saturday, March 23. Coverage of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships is brought to you by Freeform Factory, Imperial Optical Jamaica, DW Investments, Wellington Dental, Barry's Hardware, Massive Used Parts, Super Value Auto Center, Coast to Coast Group of Companies, Rock Safe and Vault, Cumberland Medical, Community Meds Pharmacy, Topperton's Hardware and Farm Store, CIWI Electrical Sales Limited, Ramsey's Auto Parts, Ricardo Stationery and Office Supplies, and Margins Pharmacy. That's coverage of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships from the National Stadium during both sides of the story and Power Play from Tuesday, March 19 to Friday, March 22, and the live simulcast on Saturday, March 23, right here on Power 106 FM.
Thanks for holding. Please continue.
Yeah, man. What I'm saying to you, Harbour Street downtown, to me, I don't know, but Harbour Street is a street. It look very attractive. Nice street, that. Harbour Street. Harbour Street is my most favorite street downtown Kingston. You know?
Yeah.
But I hope that this new mayor of Kingston, the new mayor, I hope that him do a better job.
That's Mayor Swaby.
Yes, I hope that him do a better job than Mr. Williams. I hope him do a better job.
Well, let's pay attention and...
Yeah, because downtown wants a lot of fix-up. And I heard this Prime Minister always talking about, do a lot of things downtown and fix up. And him there, in the government, for 8 years now, I don't see nothing what he do downtown. Nothing I see him do downtown. Nothing. For 8 years now.
I'm sure he will tell you he has done a lot.
There's nothing downtown the Prime Minister do for the 8 years that he is in the House of Parliament. He take up 4.5 million and a pay rent for Malawi Fort. And that me see in the cleaner, you know. I read it on your cleaner station that the Malawi Fort office is $4.5 million a month for rent. And a lot of abandoned government buildings downtown that they can use. But they refuse to fix up the government building in downtown. There's nothing in do. Nothing in do downtown. Nothing at all.
Yeah, but there are still some developments. There's
not into it.
building. No, I'm not talking about him. I'm just about the area.
About private man, you know. And I'm not talking about private man. Mr. Abraham's family will lease the property down at the waterfront and turn it into a hotel. The hotel. I mean, talk about this man here who own the security company will lease the property and turn it into a place where they rent out the ice cream place and the fish place. They not talk about them private man there. You understand what I mean? They talk about the government themselves. There's nothing downtown. 2017, you know. 2017, the War Theatre was Andrew Wallace Labor Day project.
Yes.
And the War Theatre still want painting. So there's nothing in the downtown Kingston. Nothing at all. Nothing. And you have some artwork that take place into some lane downtown. But
that has made a difference though, hasn't it?
Digital sponsor that. Digital and the artists then come as one and sponsor it. Digital sponsor it. Not the government.
Oh.
You understand what I mean now?
Yeah, I hear you.
The government don't do nothing downtown. Nothing at all. If you can tell me one thing that the government built up downtown for the 8 years, just tell me, just because you is a person who loves to read the archives and those things. You need to go in the archives and tell the nation now, for the 8 years, tell me one thing this government built up downtown.
You don't need me these days. compared to days gone by, because these days the data is readily available.
That's why when you call them talk to you, you're supposed to accept what them say sometimes.
No, I can't just accept universally, just like that. No, that's not how it works. You don't just accept.
All right. Like when you talk to you now, you say, I need you to tell me that me tell a lie. And you need to prove to me why I'm telling, and prove to me that I'm telling a lie.
No, that I don't know where that one is coming from, but there's, I don't know what that is about.
There's nothing built up downtown, because even East Queen Street, the road still bad down the same way.
All right, here's the thing. Sorry about this, but we have to wrap it here for the time being, because we have wanted to get in a couple more calls as well. Sorry about that. So let's go to Steve. Good afternoon. Go right ahead, please. Unmute and go ahead. Hello. All right. Lost Steve. And who was it? Somebody here from Connecticut. Sorry, we missed. Okay. Call coming in again. Right. Here is Steve. Thanks for your patience, Steve. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon and good afternoon to your listeners, and good afternoon to my folks from Savannah, Westmoreland, and to the people of Manus. Just a couple of things. One, I think your caller was onto something interesting, and it's something that is worth exploring with regards to the government. Certainly moving their government offices downtown, because I think they had a rehabilitation program that was going on. So that may be something that they could drive to at least create. I know that their foreign affairs is down there, so it maybe makes sense to try and get the other ministries down there. Real quick, you wanted to have a quick discussion, and I think your second before caller had touched on it. With regards to the judgment today, the Court of Appeal had heard the same things that was brought up with the Privy Council, and they were comfortable. They were okay and willing to let the sentence stand with regards to the charges, which I don't think the law could be open to so much interpretation. I know that there are different interpretations to the law, but even for me, and I only went to, as a matter of fact, I didn't even went to law school for the day. I only passed by the gate of the law school, and I knew, based on what I heard, that the fact that the juror was tainted, and when I heard with regards to the juror and the summation, and how quickly they were told, and also how quickly they came back, the jury came back. It all suggested to me that something wasn't right, and that sentence should not have been allowed to stand. I appreciate that the trial judge may have erred, but our Court of Appeal should not have allowed that judgment to stand. So I too am concerned in terms of our judiciary, and I think they need to do some retrospect, or which one inspect what they have in terms, but there needs to be some inspection going on. Now, one of the things that came out when the Privy Council were meeting, a lot of the commentators were saying that the Privy Council judges, they don't know who Palmer is and his history and so forth. So that was not coming into play, and I was wondering if that came into play with our Court of Appeal, and because of who he was, they decided that, you know what, regardless of whether or not the case went correct, we want to lock him down regardless. Which is in itself is not correct either, because just like a policeman saying, "Hey, I know that you're a bad man and kill people. Yeah, I don't have the evidence, but I'm going to kill you anyway." So I think, I mean, that is something that certainly as a nation we need to consider very carefully. And with regards to the judiciary and what is happening, there needs to be some. I think the Chief Justice need to speak on it and need to reassure the country that yes, they erred, but enough action will be taken to ensure we don't go this path again. Thanks very much, and I'll jump off so you can get on someone else.
Sure.
Thanks, Dervan.
Thanks a lot, Steve. Take care. Thanks for the call. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Cleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. The caller from Connecticut, here's an opportunity to get a word in if you're still keen on doing that, and we'll be happy to accommodate you for the last 4 minutes to go in today's edition of Both Sides of the Story. Having said that, we see the other messages that have popped up since the last time we checked. It's quite a bit. And Neville, otherwise known as Salah, says Dervan, imports on raw foods should not be allowed in the country in the first place. I've never heard this Minister of Finance talk about productivity in any of his budget speeches he has made. You can't have growth without production, says Salah from Kingston. This one says, howdy, Dervan. The finance minister removed the GCT on imported raw foods, but stamp duty can be imposed to take the place of the GCT if it is necessary. The consumers will benefit from lower prices and better quality produce in the meantime until the farmers can supply the market. Calvin in North York, Ontario, checking in as usual as well. And this one says, hi, Dervan. This caller should be motivated to cultivate a little backyard garden and encourage his friends and family to do the same. All right. And this one, messaging from Barry. Good afternoon, Barry. All right. Thank you for your message. Horace, otherwise known as Spider, says, good afternoon. With all that is going on. Okay. I think we're going to have to leave it here because we still have quite a few messages to go through and time is up on us. So can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Thursday, the 14th of March, 2024. Yes, Andre in Connecticut. Go right ahead. Good afternoon.
Mr. Malcolm, how are you doing today?
I am fine, thanks. And you?
I am doing good. Enjoying a warm day today.
That's good to know.
Yes, I'm just give me a call, Mr. Malcolm. I haven't called you in a year, so I'm making sure I do my yearly call.
Okay, no problem. We appreciate that.
All right, continue doing the good work.
You.
My little daughter would like to say hi, Jamaica. Hi to her grandma and grandpa. Say hi.
Hi, Jamaica.
Hi to grandma and grandpa Dodie.
Hi to grandma and grandma. Hi to grandma and grandpa Goldie.
All right, Mr. Malcolm, you have yourself a wonderful day, sir, and God bless always.
Bless you too. Thanks. Good to hear the children. All the best. Take care.
All the best.
Okay. Bye-bye. That's it for today's edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
Fixation of the soul is vanity. You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
news, comprehensive, powerful, and credible. Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's News at 5.
Bye.